Good evening, everyone. Um, for business and corporation law, this topic we are choosing this one topic. We are going to discuss about briefly discuss about the topic that we are going to discuss. So there are four members in this group. One is Ayoshan, Pradeep, and Rajitha, and I'm Ruchira. So we are going to continue with Australian Stock Exchange Commission was Padbury Mining Limited, 2016. So this case will happen. This happened on 2014. So this report briefly despite the case about ASIC and Padbury Limited companies as a result of breaching duties of directors under the Corporation Act 2001. So the Corporation Act, it was passed by the Parliament of Australia. To elaborate, it is the fundamental responsibilities of directors to reveal the funding matters to Australian Securities and Investment Commissions, plus to the general public. However, the directors failed to perform that. So in addition to this one, it was proven when ASIC was surprised to hear the announcement of the Mr. Gary Stokes and Mr. Terence Quinn, who were the directors of Padbury Company in April 2014, which stated that they invested their investments of millions of dollars on the Okaji project. The Okaji project, that the name was established by the Padbury. So it's been planned in Western Australia, actually in the Perth. So next, these directors narrated that actually it's a fraudulent information that they're going to invest $6 billion in the Okaji project, and it was made ASIC more inquisitive about this one. So actually that they're going to invest $6 billion, but at that time it was very suspicious, and it was investigated by the ASIC. So beside this one, the directors informed that the investment was performance. Actually, it's performed by the Superkite Private Limited and the Alliance Super Holdings Limited. And it seems absurd to ASIC. So all these details are convinced ASIC, and it was carefully examined by the ASIC as well. So in detail, the investigation incorporated by the ASIC and the Australian Stock Exchange, ASX. So the final outcome from this the case will be it was shadowed by the news of termination of the project in the end of April 2014. So I would like to invite my other colleague to continue this presentation. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Ayoshan Gunawardena. Today I'm going to discuss about which sections of the Corporation Act 2001 and also what type of director duties has been breached by two directors named Mr. Quinn and Stokes of Padbury Company. The first section which they have breached here was 6742A of the Corporation Act 2001. As a result of not disclosing the funding matters regarding the Okaji project to ASIC and ASX. In this case, they have invested about $6 billion. They made a false statement that they have made a investment of $6 billion in this Okaji project, and that was a false statement. So as a result of that, this section has been breached by these two directors. Secondly, section 1317E has been contravened as a result of not disclosing the identity of the fund providers and keeping them under secret, along with the conditions to be described to ASIC 2. Thirdly, Padbury Company Limited contravened section 1041H1 of the Corporation Act 2001 as a result of making false representation in the ASX announcement that claiming that they have secured funding for the Okaji project. As I said before, $6 billion the investment. The Padbury also breached section 141H, as two directors gave permission to their managers to make false statements regarding the funding matters. In this case, they have used the managers as a guard to protect themselves and to make false statements and to mislead the ASICs in this case. So that's the reason why the 1041H the section has been breached. So the next section of the presentation, which is the code decision, will be continued by my colleague. Thanks.
Thank you, Aishan. My name is Rajitha Today I'm going to talk about code decisions. The court made following decisions as a result of non-compliance to director duties and continuous disclosure obligation outlined by ASICs. The court imposed a pecuniary penalty of $25,000 on each directors of Mr. Stock and Mr. Quinn in respect of their contravention of section 180.1 and section 6742A. Further discussed, each of them prohibited from managing the corporation for a period of 3 years. As per the section 206C of the Corporation Act impose a penalty of $200,000 to pay ASIC as occurred during the proceedings. Thank you.
Thank you, Rajitha. I am Nishant Pradeep. I am going to explain conclusion. It is a clear example of ASIC taking actions against companies and directors for the contravention of director duties and failure to comply with the disclosure policies outlined by the Corporations Act 2001 and ASIC. It is a must for companies and directors to ensure full compliance with the continuous disclosure obligations, particularly in the light of the potential penalties for failure to comply. And also, it is prudent for companies to preview their disclosure policies and brush up on the obligations of listing rule 3.1. The disclosure of the directors of Padbury Limited revealed misleading information regarding the Okaji project as per the investigation from ASIC. The directors were found guilty following the fraud and were banned from managing firm for 3 years. As per the section of 181 of the Corporations Act, the directors are believed to have breached the duties by not disclosing the information to ASIC and ASX. It was ordered by the High Court that both the directors have to pay $25,000 individually to the Commonwealth of Australia and $200,000 to ASIC. Thank you.